is a bustling and busy place full of colors, sounds, smells, movement, and even music. China has fields full of farmers. It has small towns filled with happy people. It has busy and populated big cities like Beijing. The big cities in China are filled with tons of people moving quickly and energetically in different directions. Being in the middle of all of it made me feel excited and nervous at the same time. I learned that China is a very busy place. Lots of movement, lights, noises, people, cars, stores, people, apartments, winding streets, people, and oh, did I mention people? It's full of energy. There's so much to see. I could tell that the Chinese people believe that their history is important because there were ancient artifacts in many places in the big cities. Sometimes I found the new mixed in with the old. There were many ancient statues and paintings along the busy streets. It was fun and weird to me to see so many ancient artifacts that were hundreds of years old, right next to the brand new buildings. Seeing so many of these artifacts made me think that the Chinese people love their history so much that they want to put it everywhere, even in big and crowded cities. I also know that history is important in the Chinese culture because there are very large historical places that thousands of people still visit to learn about Chinese history. I visited enormous ancient places like the Forbidden City, where the emperor lived and worked, and the Summer Palace, where the emperor lived in the summertime. Both of these were built 600 years ago for the emperor. I was amazed with how big these places were. I almost got lost in the 980 buildings filled with more than 9,999 rooms. I walked and I walked and I walked. Everything around me was built hundreds of years ago, but still looked so bright and colorful. It was all astonishing and made me wonder how they made it all. I continued to be surprised by how old and beautiful everything was. While I walked, I was thinking the emperor really was an important guy if he had the power to make such an amazing place. I also saw that the Chinese people were so excited to see the ancient places too. They were amazed, like I was, and seemed to be very happy to see their history. I could tell that they were proud because they smiled and happily talked to each other about the beautiful and important artifacts. I understood why history is a big part of the Chinese culture when I visited the Great Wall of China and the Terra Cotta Warriors. These places were so amazing. I kept wondering how they were built and how they lasted hundreds of years. In ancient China, there were no machines like we have today. If they had no machines, then the ancient Chinese people must have had thousands of hard-working people to make these ancient wonders. The next historical stop was to the Great Wall of China. This is located a little north of Beijing. When I first saw the Great Wall, I was shocked with how long it was. It seemed like it went on for miles. To me, it looked like a giant snake, quietly resting on the mountains. I learned some facts with Tom Zhang, who lives in Beijing.
Hi, boys and girls. I'm Tom Zhang. We are having an awesome tour on the Great Wall. And later, Jeremy is showing you with the videos. So enjoy later. And back there, we are on the Jinshanling Great Wall. The Great Wall has a long history. It dates back 800 years before Christ. Can you believe it? Yeah. But the wall starts from the 221 BC. The first Emperor Qin Shi Huang, he unified China. And he linked up the walls built by different kingdoms into the Qin Great Wall.
I'm on the Great Wall, built in 1368 by the Ming Dynasty. It was originally built to keep the nomadics out. The Great Wall is one of the 7 wonders of the world. It's the biggest man-made structure ever built. You can even see this sucker from space. The Great Wall is several hundred meters high.
Before I left the beauty and peacefulness of the Great Wall, I just knew there was one more very important thing that I had to do. Everybody visited the Terra Cotta Warriors. I learned about the history and the mystery behind the warriors.
These Terra Cotta Warriors were buried with the Emperor to protect him in the afterlife. These were found in 1974 by 4 farmers just digging.
To find the right piece and put them together and make them look as new, and then put back to their original positions.
So they restore them here.
Yes,
They
yes,
glue back
that's
together.
the restoration site.
Okay, so they glue them back together. They make sure that they're all together, and then they put them back.
Back to their original position.
I'm at the Xi'an Terra Cotta Art Factory where they make replicas of the Terra Cotta Warriors.
I even visited an art factory where clay sculptors still make terracotta warriors today.
Okay. First, they put the clay in a plaster mold like this. They let it dry for a while, and then it goes in the kiln that we saw outside, which is a very hot oven, for a week. It comes out, and they put cold water on it, and it turns black like this. And that makes it very hard. Way back then, they used bamboo and wood to make the molds, to make these. But you can only use the mold once. So that means that every one of the warriors are unique and different. At this terracotta art factory, they continue to make these every day. As you can see, there's thousands of these.
In my adventures to all of these ancient Chinese wonders, I learned that China has an amazing history that is still very much a part of the Chinese culture. Chinese people love and respect their history.